thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. I'm very excited to be doing this reading. This is entitled What They Want From You. So this reading is going to help us find out, what do they want from you? This could be about anyone, and it can apply to so many different things, but I'm excited to get into it. So we've got 4 crystal cards here. I'm going to zoom in on them for you, and we've got tourmalinated quartz, celestite, shungite, angelite, and that's it. So you're going to look at these. Don't overthink it. Just the one that jumps out at you. This is the reading for you, and there is a timestamp down below. So I really look forward to seeing you, and thank you again. Talk to you soon. Bye. Light and Bone Tarot, and I want to thank you for being here. And I want to ask you, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, if you would please do so. I would greatly appreciate it. But yes, I hope you enjoy your reading. And we are here doing a reading for what do they want from you. I don't even know exactly where this reading is going to go, but I think it'll be interesting. And we have tourmalinated quartz. This is your pile. This is like a piece of art that I want in my home. I really love this picture. Okay, so we are going to jump into what do they want from you. I just want to feel the energy of your person with 3 tarot cards, and then we're going to just build it out with some other fun things. But what's their deal? Who are they? Okay, so we've got 7 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, and 7 of Cups. So just looking at this, and we want to know what they want from you. I think they want money from you. I think that this person is, I don't know if they're a hard worker or not. I really don't know. But when I look at these 3 cards, I feel like they want success. They probably do work hard at times, and I won't say they're not working hard. But I would say they've attempted to make the right investments to get things moving for themselves. But I think they're falling short. I think they're falling actually on hard times. I have a feeling money is probably a struggle for them right now. And yet I feel like they keep dreaming, or they keep talking about this. I don't know if it's a pipe dream, or I don't know if it's something that they're working on, but they don't have realistic expectations of it, or like aspirations for it. I'm not sure, but there's something about this person that just seems, I don't know, I almost want to say flaky, or like without direction. And I could even, just in these 3 cards, I feel like I could talk about this person. And it's not necessarily good. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. I don't get an energy as far as like if they're well-intentioned or if they like you or not, but I just feel like they are one of those people who talks a big talk about the things they want to do, probably does put some wheels in motion at times, and probably just misses the mark and falls short, and almost doesn't see what they're doing, because this head in the clouds card, the 7 of Cups, is like, there's different ways to interpret this, but I don't think any of the interpretations are necessarily good. And in this context, I get the feeling that this is someone who just is kind of a dreamer, but in almost a not very appealing way. Not in a way where like you want to actually hear about their dreams, more like you're sick of hearing about them. You'd actually like to see them make some money and do something with themselves. So what they want from you, I feel like I'm sure someone like this sucks you dry of energy. This person either wants money or like energy or support or something along those lines from you, just based off of these cards. But sometimes I get very pleasantly surprised and start off thinking that someone's a total turd, and then they wind up being this like, diamond in the rough. So we will see a little bit. But okay, I want to see you and how they see you. I want to know about that. How does your person see you? And they see you as rain, fecundity. This is very much like, they see you as someone who gives life, someone who nurtures, someone who supports them, someone they can always turn to for whatever they need. And this could be money. This could be a sort of abundance, but it's very much like you are a giver in this situation. They see you as someone who gives. And I will say they probably want you to keep giving. And This is just such a very straightforward message so far that I'm getting from this person. But you probably also support them. You might really like this person. You might really have a soft spot for them. You might be totally taken by them. But I do feel like they kind of like just bleed you dry in certain ways. And I think they just tap you out, whether it's like mentally, physically, emotionally. They just take and take and take. But at the same time, I feel like you like them, and I'm not even sure why I get that feeling, but I do. So they see you as a source of like abundance, let's just say. And I want to know how you see them. I'm going to put them over here. So you see them as desert, solitariness. I would say you see them as like, I don't know if you see them as this like lone wolf kind of thing, or as this almost like you're sympathetic to their struggle. Like maybe they have this story of how they never had the things they wanted growing up. It was always hard on them. They always, they're doing this because they didn't have certain things and now they can, or they want so bad to do this one thing because it's got such a good cause or drive behind it. But whatever it is, you definitely see them as being a very unique individual. I think you see them as being this, like someone who really stands alone, someone, no one can touch them. You've never been touched by anyone the way you've been touched by this one person. And I do think you tend to really believe in them and support them, but wow, I don't know that they're giving you quite as much in return. I just get the sense that they're kind of, I just say bleeding you dry. And I know that's like, that term is just harsh to hear, but I just think they really do want a lot from you all the time. And if it's not in the form of money, if you're not physically giving them money, they want more support from you. It's like you are their source. You can be their source of energy, their source of like gratification or validation. I'm not sure, but they are definitely turning to you whenever they're down or in need of something. And I want to see your person. I just want to get a couple more cards on this kind of down and outness that we see here. Like, why aren't things really working out for them? So we've got Movement of Cups, which is the, basically the, oh my gosh, what's the word? The Knight. Oh my goodness. This is basically the Knight of Cups. And then we've got the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is it's a perfectly fine card. This is definitely a card of like wish fulfillment. And again, this goes to your person having their head in the clouds. I think they dream so big, or they see themselves as being so utterly capable when really they're just not doing a lot. And this Movement of Cups makes me think of haste. It makes me think of them like coming in hot, thinking everything's just this great romantic notion. Whatever it is, like this romance about work, this romance about like this company they're going to start, whatever it is, it's like not everything has to be like in this beautifully wrapped package, because that's not even real. It's almost like they're selling or presenting this image of themselves that everyone has to subscribe to, and it looks and sounds so good, but it really doesn't get them anywhere. And I think your person's kind of a dreamer and very good at convincing you of things, but just I don't see them really living up to it. And I will say, like, if we're going to take this away from the fact that, okay, maybe they aren't great at starting a business, or maybe they're great at starting businesses, but this one in particular isn't working, or whatever. From a relationship standpoint, I don't see it coming off this person. But I am going to get some cards to speak a lot more to the relationship of this. I'm just going to ask Spirit, like, what's your guys' relationship like? How does Spirit see it? And I'm going to build it down as well. So I'm going to put in here the Ace of Cups. Actually, I'm going to go like this. The Six of Swords and the Devil. So from a relationship standpoint, in asking Spirit, I do think she sees that there is that sort of initial push for romance, I think initially when you met this person, it probably was very romantic. It was very intense. It had nothing to do with work or the things they aren't doing. If anything, you were just like enamored with all the cool, exciting things they're doing. And you probably thought they had a lot more I don't want to say money than they do because that's like so direct, but you probably thought they had a lot more success than they actually have. I get the feeling that they're very good at making you think they're someone that they aren't. And I'm not going to say this is like a full-blown con man because that is extreme, but I definitely get this feeling that this person is a little bit slippery. And we see the Six of Swords and the Devil here, and basically, I'm going to say this person is almost always looking for something better. And I don't necessarily mean that in the sense of a relationship, but I don't not mean it in that way either. I think this person, they're always looking for an in. And you know what? Maybe they are driven by money, and maybe they're always looking for that person or that partner that can introduce them to the right person or put up the right investment or just, I don't know, make the right introduction, whatever that is. I just feel like this person, what they want is they want to get ahead, and they want someone that can help them get ahead. And I don't know that what they want is a genuine relationship. And with the Devil card, I'm not saying that they're the devil, but I do think that there is something very slick and kind of manipulative, maybe controlling, maybe like insincere about them. I think they probably have a way of making you think everything's great when really it's just not. There's and that's what I think the Devil card is. This person is not exactly who you think they are. And when I look at these cards, I think this person is either not that bad, right? Maybe they just make bad business decisions and take a lot of energy from you, and that's the extent of it. Or they are actually quite shitty. And I don't know which one of those it is. Neither one is really great, but if it's the latter, then it's someone you want to probably work on like reforming or just getting over altogether. But I don't get a feeling that this person does a whole lot for you. And when we ask the question, what do they want from you? They want your time, they want your energy, they want your support, they want you to listen, they want your feedback, they just always want something from you. I can't say that they want a commitment from you. I can't say that they want you to like hold their hand through everything. I don't know that they even want you around all that much. I just don't get a very loving, sincere vibe off this person. And I'm going to see, I want to know what effect this person is having on you. So these are my chakra cards, and I always say I'm learning about this. So, you probably know more about this than I do. And if your gut tells you that what I said doesn't speak to you, then the message that you want to interpret is probably right. But I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to ask, like, what chakras do, like, if this union is as kind of odd and not ideal as I think, like, what are they taking from you? What do you feel kind of drained and depleted from them? And we've got rejection and we've got surrender. So I would say that I kind of, I'm going to work my way up and say this is like, an orangish, not so much, somewhere between red and yellow, right? But we'll say this is definitely an orange, sacral chakra. And I would say that they're making you feel rejected. I don't think they're giving you probably like the physical confirmation that you need that you're totally clicking with them. I think that either, like I said, that you're not seeing them as much as you want to, or you're just not getting as much of that, like that affirmation of like touch and just like that physical affirmation from them that you guys are working. Like, I think they're asking so much from you and really not giving you much. And maybe your like love language is touch, or whatever it is, you're not getting it. But I do think it leaves you feeling a little questioning, like, is this person even into me? And if you're here watching this, you probably are questioning what do they want from me? If I give them all the things they want, if they ask me questions about how things are going and you give them feedback and you literally stroke their ego, which is something that I think I was trying to find the words for before. But I think more than anything, at the end of the day, this person wants you to stroke their ego. I really think that is what they want. And I think they want this from almost everyone, whether it's another man, whether it's another woman, whether it's someone old, someone young, a parent, a friend. I think they're always looking for just that validation that they're great and things are going good for them. And if things aren't working out, it's not because of something they did. I just find this person, I'm sorry, and this person irritates me, and I think they're just draining you. Okay, and so then surrender, this isn't so much a chakra because it's not necessarily much of a color, but if we have to connect it to something, we'll say this works higher up into your like crown or third eye, more up to the crown. And when I think of surrender, I think of like a calm place. I think of you kind of going with your thoughts and letting your thoughts lead and just finding this like calm within, almost this like meditative state, this kind of blissed out, I'm just going to let things lie and let things be. And because this card is here, I think this isn't quite your state. I don't think you're finding a calm place with this person. I think you're always questioning, you're always asking, you're always wondering, you're up at night. Like, I just don't see that you're getting anywhere. And yeah, and I don't think your person has their shit together as much as they had you once thinking they did. And I don't know that there's really much of a good thing happening with them. I'm not saying that they're like this prolific cheater. I'm not saying that they're a horrible person or they like have bodies stored in the garage. I'm just saying that they aren't who they represent themselves to be. And yeah, and what do they want from you? They want you to stroke their ego. Okay, so I'm going to stop this reading right here where it's kind of short, but I have a pretty clear message, and I am sorry because I don't think this is like necessarily a fun message to receive, but yeah, and if it was a little more positive, I would love to elaborate on it. But I'm going to pull a card just to show you how you've been strong in this and how strong and like just how much you have to offer. And if it's not this relationship, like just how beautiful and strong you are. And I'm going to pull that card right here. And I'm just going to ask, like, just to remind you how great you are. And maybe it's to say, look, you don't need this person. Or maybe it's to say, like, this person does want all this from you because you are truly wonderful and you have all these gifts. And obviously you are someone that they do probably very much respect. They want all these things from you because you have genuine input. You're probably very sharp, very smart. You probably see all the mistakes they're making before they make them. But yeah, here's you. And we've got snow, silence, which is funny because this isn't necessarily the card of someone who's over the top. But I would say you have a lot of grace. You have a lot of, there's just something very stoic and kind of beautiful and serene about you. You probably tolerate this person. You probably, if you are in an argument or a fight, you're not throwing dishes and hurling profanities at them. You're just very like balanced and together. You're calm and collected. I mean, you make them look good, basically. I have a feeling they can be a bit of a hot mess at times. And I think you are just so, yeah, there's like this pensive, stoic, just graceful aspect to you. And, yeah, who wouldn't want that? And the right person will see this as being just dead sexy and so appealing and so like something to just aspire to. Whereas I think this person just takes advantage of you, and they probably take your silence for weakness, which is incredibly frustrating because you aren't weak at all. You're very strong, but I do think you're very good at biting your tongue and not saying anything that just would take more energy from you than it's worth. But as a result of that, maybe if you aren't quite like arguing enough, or if you're not speaking up, it is leaving you feeling very, just that lack of resolve and not getting anywhere. You do feel like you're a little out of whack in your, I'm going to say your sacral region, which definitely has a lot to do with like your hormones, your sex organs, your whatever those are. I'm struggling to think of them right now, but yeah, your ovaries, your gonads, whatever, like you are just not feeling like your needs are being met. Okay, so I don't need to re-say all the things I said, but this is your reading, and please listen to another reading. It's not going to have the same message or the same tone. It'll be a lot more hopeful, and it'll be a really nice message about how things are going to be looking up for you, which they are, because you really are the strong, balanced one in this dynamic. And yeah, I think you've, whatever decision you need to make, I think you've absolutely got this. So yeah, but you're sought after. You've got great, I don't know, great input, I'm dropped the ball when I try to think of how the things I could say to highlight how great you are, because that's like, my mind has to go to a whole different direction for that. But I can tell you have a tremendous amount of grace, and you have a lot to contribute. Yeah, okay, I'm going to stop. Thank you so much. And if you like this, please subscribe, and I hope to see you again. Thank you. Goodbye. Bone Tarot, thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to my station if you haven't. I would really appreciate it, and it would help me grow. So please do that. And now on with the reading. We are doing a reading for what they want from you. What do they want from you? And this is pile number 2. You are here for Celestite. Beautiful blue crystal. And yeah, this is your pile. This is your stone. Your crystal rather, and we are going to get right into it. So what do they want from you? Okay, I liked the last reading, so I hope I really like this one. I want to see your person. I just want to see like Spirit's kind of synopsis of, or snapshot rather, of where they are right now. So just to understand them, we've got Judgment, 6 of Wands, and 6 of Swords. So we've got some 6s here. Okay, Judgment, 6 of Wands, 6 of Swords. I think they are, I do think they're in a bit of a transition. I think they're trying to figure out what works for them. I do say that, okay, so the 6 of Wands is a card of recognition. It's a card of, starting to be seen for your accomplishments. So for whatever reason, yes, I think they are being seen. I think you see them. I think people around them see them. I do think they are very, very hard on themselves. The Judgment card, I almost always see how someone judges themselves heavily. Like it's this energy of someone who kind of just can't let up on themselves. And but I think with that too, there's almost this like inner calling of trying to better yourself. Like I think it's a very positive card. It's this kind of electricity, this call to action to like just get to a higher place, like figure it out. Where do you need to be? And I do think that they are kind of on that vibe right now. They might be a little over the top with this right now. They might be, and the little bit of recognition they're getting, whether it's a little or a lot, I don't know that it's a little, I don't know why I said that, but the recognition they're getting I just feel like their head's a little bit big, and I don't know why. Something in this is telling me that they're just a little bit too into themselves right now. The 6 of Swords is a card of transitioning. It is a card of, to me, this card is like, you're leaving something behind because it was, I don't know, it could be anything from like dead weight to it didn't serve you to you want and need something better. But there's something in this card to make me think wherever you're going, it's better than where you were. So it's almost like this person, it's like they can't make a wrong move. Whatever they do, things are just working out for them. And I think they think this is happening because they have done so much work on themselves that now they're just in this great place and everything's clicking. And that might be true to an extent, but yeah, there's just something very heady about this person. However, I do think they are successful, and I think things are starting to take off for them. But just like the last reading, this doesn't have I'm not getting a romantic feel off this card yet, which tells me that I can't quite see right now what they want from you. I can see like what they want from the world. They want to be very successful. They want to be seen. They want to be famous. They want to be acknowledged. There's something very much like they want that validation that like, yes, they're great, and whatever message or service or whatever they're providing, they do want to know that it's like, everything, but there's just something, like, I will say there's something very heady about them. I just want to see, like, from a romantic standpoint, what does your guys' connection look like, romantically? So we've got the Sun, which is a great card, and we've got the Magician. So this does give me hope. These are two, I mean, we asked about your guys' romantic connection, and this is fun. Like, the Sun is great. It's life-giving. It's energy. It's success, vitality. It's a very strong, confident, like, high energy, just forward-thinking card. This is a card of, like, you want, you get what you want. And the Magician is fun. It's a power. It's a skill. And with the Sun, and we asked about your guys' relationship, I would say you guys could very well be a power couple in whatever capacity. I'm not sure. I mean, this can be relatively speaking. Like, you don't have to be like, well, I was saying Bill and Melinda Gates, who are no longer a power couple, but, like, you don't have to be that level when I say power couple. You can just be a very well-respected couple amongst your peers who happen to do really well for yourselves. You can be two people who decided to become influencers and are doing very well for yourself. But I definitely see that the two of you have pretty strong capabilities. And you actually might have a lot of this as well. This reading could also probably be you as well. And the more I say that, the more I believe that. It's almost like the two of you, I won't say you're in competition with each other. I think you complement each other very well, but I also think a big part of your, like, romantic connection has to do with your work. There's something where you guys are very much tied in and balanced, and you probably take turns, like, scratching each other's back and building each other up and just acknowledging each other. But both of you have this kind of, like, almost je ne sais quoi quality that brings people in and keeps them intrigued. So what does this person want from you? I think they just want that perfect relationship. Like, they want things to look perfect. They want them to function perfectly. They want you to be perfect on all counts. I think they want you to look good. I think they want you to act good. I think they want you to dress good, say good things. I just think you guys both put very high standards on one another. I will say there's probably something about this union that feels a little materialistic, maybe a little surface. But you guys have something. You have a connection, and it's like you're the only two people in the world that would tolerate each other. Not because you're so hard to deal with, but because I think you guys are both experiencing and accomplishing something very similar, or you're just at very similar stages in your life where no one else would have the patience to deal with it, but you get each other, you get what you're going through, so you are just kind of dedicated to each other. But I do think, it's funny because now that I see this line, I also think everything I said to that person does apply to you, and I think you guys are you're very into one another, but you're also very into yourselves, and you're just not in a bad way, in a way where you're like, you're both trying to accomplish something. You're both trying to get something done. But I think you work together. I like you guys as a couple. But yeah, I would say what they want from you is exactly what you want from them. I think you want this to work, but I think you want it to work perfectly. I don't think you're afraid of, like, fighting or fights or, like, even hard times or whatever. Like, I don't think it needs to be like, I think you want this relationship to look perfect on the outside. And it probably does. Okay. I want to see you and I want to see them, like, right now, how you guys are. Okay. So your snow, your silence, which is interesting. I would not have pegged you for that. And then they're the oceans, their bravery. So these cards are actually pretty kind of simple. In other words, I kind of saw you differently. Let's put it that way. I did not see you as snow and silence. There's something and this card came up in the last reading, although I shuffled very well, but there's something very, like, stoic, very pensive, very graceful, quiet, respectable about this card. This is definitely a card of, like, just grace is the word I want to give to it. There's so much, like, knowledge and beauty and everything from, like, talent to effectiveness and being quiet and listening and, like, stillness. And you do have this. I don't think there's nothing about you that's stagnant. I think you're probably hustling and killing it right now in whatever you're doing, as is your partner. But maybe your guys' partnership, there's more depth than I gave you credit for when I started reading. Like maybe you guys do have behind the scenes a lot more, you're much more in tune than I realized. And so we'll kind of reshape maybe what you guys want from each other. But there's just something very, just beautifully stoic about you. And you maybe show the world and everyone else, aside from your partner, a different side of you. But maybe when you're home and you're with your person, this is someone, they get to see this other side of you. And I think they really like that. This helps ground you and it helps ground them. Yeah. And if this is someone that maybe you're not totally like in a relationship with, it still holds true that they see these sides of you, that you guys are, working on something together. And this is kind of where you fall in line. And then for them, oceans and bravery, I will say they're strong. I will say they're fearless, they're adventurous. They're probably, I wouldn't say they're the gas, but I think they're always yes. They're always going to say yes to anything. They want to always be doing something. They have to be moving. They have to be doing. There's just this action that they're always engaged in something, which can be really exhausting. And I think this very much counteracts that energy. So again, I really think you guys have these like very wonderful similarities, but then your opposites where you really, really need it. So you might be a lot more, I don't want to say, like, the word that comes to mind is meek, but not in a bad way, not in a negative way, just in a like, you might be a lot more toned down than I realized. I think your person is pretty much like turned up, and I think you're a little bit more toned down, meaning that like whatever it is you guys are doing or whatever image you're putting out there, that image of you is slightly less authentic, which is fine. It's like, this is your brand. Whatever you put out there is fine as your brand, but who you really are is slightly different. And then for them, they're probably pretty much on brand, on point. And so now when I see like what they want from you, they might want a little more authenticity from you. It's a very different message than the one I had when I first started talking. And this does happen sometimes. I think there's something about you where you very much fit this mold that they're in right now and that they're kind of working from. But I do think there's something you have more to give, and it might be in a different direction. It might be in a different way, but there's something that you're holding back from or you aren't expressing that, and they can kind of feel it. Like they know you aren't being true to yourself in one way or another. And whatever that is, they want that truth from you. They want you to be more just genuine and authentic because they want you to be happy. I really see this as a very positive thing. They're not like calling you out like they think you're full of shit or anything like that, but they want you to, I think they want to be with you for a while. They want to make this work, and to really make this work and for everyone to be like happy and doing their thing, you've got to be exactly true to yourself. So I just got that. It would be very interesting to see if that clicks, but I like your person. I like when things kind of change for me and I see things a little more clearly. I just think your person is a very, very like turned up version of you. You guys, in some ways you think similarly, in some ways you're just complete opposites. And I think there's probably a ton of passion between you guys. You probably just feed each other's creative energies. I think you work very, very well together. And I think you guys could be very successful together as a couple. But yeah, I definitely think they want more authenticity from you because they want to get to know you more. That's it. They want more from you. They just, whatever that next level is in your relationship, I actually think they really want that from you and with you. But now you have to give them a little bit more. So like I said, very different from where I was in the beginning. And it's not to say that they don't also want this to look like a picture perfect dynamic, but just behind the scenes, in order to pull that off so things don't, cracks don't start to expose and all that. I think they really want to know, they just want to know you and see you. So good. This is good. I want to know what chakras you've got fully developed and what you're working on, like what's really spinning for you right now in this relationship in a good way. And then we'll get your partners. So I think right now in this dynamic, this is funny. When the same cards come up, I laugh. One day I'll just do a video of me shuffling for 2 minutes between sets and then having the same cards come up. But unlike the last reading, this is a positive thing of like, what are you dealing with in a positive way? I'm asking what's working for you. So we've got rejection and disruption. So the rejection part is this, you feel pretty strong in this relationship. I think you're feeling very confident. I think the part of you that deals with rejection is very, it's not an insecurity of yours anymore. And to that point, how I said, I think you guys do have a lot of passion. This is like that, sacral, your sacral chakra, meaning like, physically, sexually, passionately, I think you guys really, really do come together. I don't think this person makes you feel rejection at all. I think if this was a part of other relationships that was hard on you, or if you had maybe a hard time expressing yourself physically or finding someone that like understood you physically or whatever that means, that's not a part of this relationship. And I think you're very happy and you feel very confident in this way. So even though you see the word rejection, these are up here to say like, this is what you've got going for you. So yeah, this is good. And it probably means you've come a very, very long way. And it does speak to the fact that you guys have such a really tight bond and you get each other and you're definitely like just physically connected and clicking. And disruption, if there was like chaos in your past or in your past relationships, or just all this interference and all this kind of just noise and bright lights and whatever it is, like this makes me think of like laser beams at a rave or something. I just don't think that's here. I think you've really quieted your mind. I think you are probably a very quiet person in a way. Like that is your actual nature, your actual like where you want to be is probably more quiet than people actually realize or see you. And I think in this connection, you're not feeling this disruption. I think you're feeling actually very settled, very quieted, very much at peace. And this like very pretty kind of pink fuchsia color. I couldn't tell you what chakra this goes with because it doesn't necessarily go with a chakra. But it would be somewhere like between your throat and the top of your head, which is your crown. And I would say that in that way, you're probably expressing yourself. You're just happy, right? There isn't chaos in your mind. I just think you're really peaceful. And I bet to this point, you probably are feeling that maybe you're getting a little more, I don't know if spiritual is the right word for everyone, but like you're just thinking, you're opening your mind to different ways of thought and different ways of feeling and being. And that's really cool. And this person really likes this about you. I think you are showing them aspects of thinking along different like planes than they ever have. I don't know that they ever thought about things that way. And by that, I mean like tarot or anything metaphysical, anything kind of woo-woo. Like, I think you're really getting there and you're starting to show them pieces of this. And yeah, I just think that's cool. So the question here really is, what do they want from you? And I started off saying that they wanted this, like, they wanted you guys to look perfect. They wanted everyone to think that this was like this just really beautiful, perfect dynamic. And the thing is, I think people really do think that. And that is important. That is a part of what works for you guys. But I also think there's something in you they're trying to pull out, something they want you to show, you to reveal, you to be very like true to. And whatever that is, maybe you were afraid of rejection if you brought it up, or you were afraid that it would be like disruptive or chaotic or whatever it is. There's definitely like a truth that you need to speak, and this person really does want to hear it, whatever that is. So I would say speak up and just feel more free and open to communicate with your person, whoever this is, because I think they want to hear it, and I think it's important to your guys' whole dynamic. Yeah, and I'm going to ask Spirit for just like, this is a card of not only we got who you are a little bit, but this is just another, like, this is also how spirit sees you. And it's just a way of saying like, hey, you're this and it's awesome. So this is how spirit also sees you right now in this dynamic. And it's kind of like just encouragement that you need to overcome this piece, this hurdle maybe that's holding you back and keeping you so quieted. So spirit sees you as actually adventure. And this is probably, if you're still listening to this reading, this would be nice to hear, because your friend, your special friend, is brave and adventurous, and they kind of always get to play that card. People look at them as being the like outgoing, exciting, dynamic one probably, whereas you definitely do have this there's adventure in you. There is like wildness in you. There's probably even like that chaos and that free spirit in you, but I just don't know that you're showing it in quite the same way that your partner is, or your person, or I'll just say your partner. So I think there's a lot more potential in you, and this person really wants to see it. So there's a whole other side to you. And I think now is your time to kind of step into that confidence. And I wouldn't say compete with your person, because it's really not a competition. And it's, if it's a competition of who can be the most adventurous, that even sounds like dangerous. But I do think it's like a challenge. Let's put it that way. And I just think you should rise to it. And this person wants you to. And, to that point, I really see that they care about you. So they also just might want to see this next level of happiness for you. They might want to see you step into your confidence, or you like shed something that was holding you back or making you feel, insecure or less than or whatever. So they just really want you to be happy and figure out what it is that makes you a little more lit up. Okay, so thank you very much. I'm going to end this reading here before I go on like all these different tangents. Really, there's a lot I could say for your guys' dynamic, but I will say that all of it's good. There's something very cool and fresh and fun and just very loving and supporting about you guys. I do stand by the very beginning that I think you both are focused inward quite a bit as well, but that's okay. You're building something, you're doing something, you get each other very, very well, you support each other. So I don't mind if I came off a little strong in the beginning, seeing what I see now, I could tone that down a little bit, because you guys are very, very cool. I just think you're a fun couple. And I think you really love and support each other. So I'll just end it there. But thank you so much for listening. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Especially if you've listened this long, it means you don't probably hate it. Leave me a message. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. Tarot, thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. I will quickly ask you to please subscribe if you have not done so already. I would just greatly appreciate it. But now, getting on to your reading, we are doing a reading for what they want from you. We're going to find out what this person that you are thinking about right now wants from you. And you picked shungite. This is your pile, your shiny black crystal stone. Very nice, very shiny. And here we go. I'm going to ask Spirit to just show me your person. I want to kind of see them, this person that we are asking what they want from you. I want to see them. Who are they? Okay, so we have 9 of Cups, basically a wish card. We have the 3 of Wands, sort of like a foresight, maybe contemplation. Okay, and we've got the 10 of Cups. So to see the 9 of Cups and the 10 of Cups, this person and the foresight, this person's like a manifester. I think they can make just about anything happen. I think they have a pretty charmed life, and I bet you they've worked hard for it. And I say that because when I see the wands, the 3 of Wands, I do think of someone who contemplates their action. They really take into account like consequences. They apply foresight, which is a word given to this card. But your person is, I feel like they're probably just very sexy, very successful, very attractive, whatever that means. But there's just something very appealing about this person. And and I think they have a lot. I think they have the success. I think they have the good job. I think they have the money. They probably travel. There's just something very capable about this person. So I would want to be in a relationship with this person. So now let's find out what they want from you. I'm just going to ask Spirit directly, because this is there's just something so bright and like poppy about them. I'm going to ask Spirit, what do they want from you? So we've got the Innocence of Pentacles. I'm going to do this a little differently. The Magician. And then we've got Five of Cups. So Page of Pentacles here, the Magician, and the Five of Cups. Give me a second. Little bit of loss here. I almost feel like they want you to let something go. There's something, it's like there's something you're holding on to that I feel like is preventing you guys from starting something or from being something. And I think like your person is someone who can make almost anything they want happen, very much like the Magician. They could make this relationship happen with you. I think they actually really want to be with you. But there's something that you are actually the one holding back. And what you're holding back, why you're holding back, or what the reason is, I'm not sure. But it could be something like maybe you can't move to where they are. Maybe I don't know, maybe you have family holding you back for one reason or another. Maybe you have kids. I don't know. But I feel like there's something. And it's not a bad thing. I don't mean, it was weird to say like if you have kids, that's a problem. What I mean is like maybe your kids have to go to a certain school and you don't want to pull them out of that school, or something like just something to do, or their father is nearby and you don't want to disrupt that. Like whatever it is, I just feel like there's something in your life that is creating, it's almost like preventing you guys from really, really being together or going to the next step. But whatever it is, it's something, it's good in the sense that it shows what a good and loving person you are. This thing that's kind of in the way, it's not a bad thing. It's something that you love and care about. Let's put it that way. It's something that means a lot to you. It's very respectable. It's something this person sees and respects and understands. But all the same, it does seem like it's creating this kind of like disconnect for you guys. And I really do think there's a solution. And when I see the Magician card next to like the Three of Wands and on this kind of like magical strip of cards pertaining to your person, I do see that there is a solution here. There's a way around this. And if anyone can figure it out, it's this person. But you're going to probably have to create some, there's probably going to be something that happens that isn't ideal for you, or it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, or it's going to be a little bit hard. It'll be ultimately okay, because I do think this could be a good connection for you. But there's just, like I said, there's one thing holding you back. This person can help you with it. Maybe they can give you the funds you need to make this work, or whatever it is. But there's something that you really are thinking like very long and hard about. Is this the right? Do you really want to do what it's going to take to be with this person? And I do think they want this from you. So that is nice to see. I don't know that either you're not as into this person as they are into you, or you just don't know if they're too good to be true. There is a little bit of that I'm getting out of this. Almost like you could do what they're asking, but you're honestly not sure it's worth it. Or you don't know if disrupting whatever aspect of your life is really worth it. And I think you're almost hesitant to let this person step in and help in any way they can, or the way they're willing to, because you almost don't want to feel like indebted to them. So even though they do seem like such a catch, and I'm sure they are in a lot of ways, there's something to make me think you're not 100% on board yet. But they do want something from you. They want your time. They want you, like in their space, like physically, they really want you to be there. And for some reason, I feel like you're not, or there's going to be a change where you won't be able to unless you make these changes. And it just seems, even though it might seem simple on the outside, to actually make it happen would take a lot from you. It would take a lot from you. Like there would be a sacrifice, or you would have to really alter some aspects of your life. And I don't see that you necessarily want to do that. Okay, so this is interesting. I want to see you in this relationship, and I want to see your person that we're inquiring about in this relationship, because I want to understand more about what they want from you and why it might almost make you feel I won't say icky because that's a bit extreme, but it makes you feel a little like, ooh, I just don't know. Okay, so here's you in this dynamic. So lake, depth. Okay, and here's your person. And we've got animals, companionship. So how I see you, there is this depth to you, but there's also this very kind of mysterious, secretive side. If anything, you are the one in this dynamic that is holding back, and you might be protecting yourself because you might, like I said, this might feel too good to be true. I don't know how I draw this conclusion because it would, but somehow I got this message that you are afraid this is too good to be true. I'm going to say when I see the companionship and animals card here for your person, this is just the cards, but I don't think it's too good to be true. I think this person is actually sincere and legit. And although they look to be so great on paper and they seem to check all the boxes, I actually think they do. I don't just think it's a facade. I think this is someone who has a lot to offer. And I'm going to say that because when I see the animals and the companionship, this is very much a card of kindness. It's someone who loves the earth and the animals and just gets the soul of the animal, which to me is someone who's so good, someone who's so kind. This person would never hunt. They may be a vegan or a vegetarian, but even if they're not, that's not the point. And even if they do hunt, they do it because, it's kinder probably to hunt than to eat what's on the shelves. But that is not a political message that I am pushing at all. I am just saying that this person is someone, I just think they're very, very empathic. I think they're just a sweet soul and probably a lot different once you get to know them than how they appear. I just think they have a lot of depth and a lot of sincerity. And if you see this side of them, but then you also see like maybe the glitz, the glamour, the turned up aspect of them, the success, you probably think like, oh my God, are they phony? And yeah, and they want to help me and they're offering to help me by giving me this or doing this. And it's like a lot. I think they're all in with you is what I can see, but you are definitely the mysterious person holding back. I think there's a lot of caution there. And I do think that you're protecting what you have, because you've probably been through a similar scenario that didn't work out in your favor. And this might feel very similar to that scenario. But from the cards, I'm just going to say it feels very different. I can't guarantee you that it is, but it does, based on these cards, feel different. But I do think that this person, they just want you to trust them. I guess that's it. They want you to trust them. They want you to let them help you. Help them help you is basically the message. They want to help you. They really sincerely do. And by helping you, you guys, I think, could really be together and have something pretty great. I get the feeling this person wants to take care of you. And I'm not saying you need them to take care of you, although I think it might be very helpful. But I do think that they have the funds, the money, the resources, whatever it is, to just make your life a little more comfortable and better. But I don't think in any way you'd be using them for that. I think you just can't quite understand if this is really as awesome as it seems. And I don't know. I still don't know that you're over the moon about this person, but I think you could get there. I think once you start to trust them and open up to them and let them help you, once you see them as a sincerely good companion, I think you will start to feel a little bit more for them. And it's interesting because on this card, we do have animals and companionship. And I did just call them your companion because I do think they want more from you in every way. And I don't know that you guys are in this like deeply like physical connection. I'm not sure. I don't know, maybe they're a lot older than you. Maybe they come from a very different like background or walk of life, or they're experiencing or doing something very different and you're having a hard time like fully connecting with them. But I will say they really care about you, and they see something very good and sweet and lovely in you. And it is almost like this fairy tale in a way, we could say. It does have that sense to it where they could be this, very, very cliche, I'm sorry, but like almost Prince Charming to your princess or whatever. Like there's this sense of you being almost rescued into this situation. But I will say, enjoy it and go with it. I'm not getting any vibes to think otherwise. But yeah, what I get. And I can just keep elaborating on, you know, what they want from you is just to open up, to trust them, to let them help you, and for you to really like them genuinely in return, I think is also something they really want from you. So let's get, this is a unique reading, and I really like this. There's something very sweet and like tender about this reading. So yeah, I'm going to go with, I want to see your person's chakras. I want to know what part of them, what are their like highly developed chakras? I'm going to start with them first because I want to see them a little bit better. What do they like really have going from them in a chakras perspective? So what they are not lacking. This is where they have strengths, and this is them. So abundance, very interesting, and stop. Okay, so these are chakra cards, or I've deemed them that. Whether they are or not, I don't know, but that's how I see them. And abundance, because this is green, we're going to say this is the heart chakra. So I would say they have a lot of love to give. Interestingly enough, we do see coins and abundance, and I have talked that they have money. So yes, I also think this person definitely has money and resources, but I also think they have a lot of love to give. And I think they have a very open heart. They probably have a family of their own. I mean, in a like divorced way, or they have, you know, kids, or they have a big family or whatever. I think they just have a lot to go around, and they may have been in the situation you're in right now. And they just know how to navigate it, and it's just all going to be so easy breezy, but they really do have a lot of love to give. And this is, okay, so this is a stop, and I would say this is very much your root chakra, that red. So they are very grounded. They know, I don't think this person is indulgent. I don't think they are prone to addictions. They might even be a little bit boring. I think this person is very balanced, very grounded, very consistent. And I see that the stop, it doesn't mean that they need to stop something. It means they're very good at knowing when to say no. They're very good at not overdoing it. They are very good at stopping when they need to stop, in whatever term that is. But in regards to you guys, I think, you know, they're not going to endlessly ask for the same thing if they don't get it. They're very business minded, and they know that there's going to be a point where they just won't expel energy on that one thing or that one need anymore, because they're like a quick or clean burning machine, right? They know how to get things done. So to that point, they're not going to hound you for years to, I don't know, move in with them, or move to their town, or raise your kids together, or go to the same school, whatever it is. Like but they will, they are very confident. They're very self-assured, very self-aware, and they will press until they know not to anymore. So yeah, that's your person. I do think they have a romantic piece to them, but they are very much, they function like a CEO as well. But I definitely get an older vibe off them, like just this kind of like mature dad vibe, but in a way that isn't of your own dad. So you know what I mean by that. Okay, I want to get the chakras. This is something that, if you realize it or not, this is something you actually, I wouldn't say like about them, but they make you feel this way. And this is a good thing. So I'm going to pull over 2 cards to say, like, this is how they work with you, or how you guys work together, and what is working when you guys are together. So for you, this is also root, and that's anger. Okay, and this is death. So this is very good, even though it doesn't look like it at all. I will say so this means that if there was a part of you that was afraid of loss, afraid of death, they have calmed that. They have like quelled that voice in you. This is something that you may not realize that they've done this, but they have. When you're with this person, you're not afraid of being left or lost. You're not afraid of them. Like, you know, they're a sure thing. You know that they are, that they're really rooted and grounded and here for you. So yeah, I think they make you feel very calm and secure in this way. The opposite of how you would feel if you were stressed over this dark death energy. Yeah, I think they make you feel safe. Literally, they make you feel safe. And the anger, so very much root chakra here, you don't feel anger towards them. This isn't a dynamic where you're like fighting, you're stressed, you're that's not this. There isn't this part of you, like you're not crying your eyes out with this person. If anything, that whole it looks and feels too good to be true thing that I came back to is because things really they're just easy with this person. This person doesn't want drama. I think they have plenty of drama in other aspects of their life. You know, professional, they probably have plenty of things on their plate. They don't need it in their relationships, and they wouldn't keep you around, for lack of a better term, if things weren't really positive and good with you. And I think they just see that you guys work really well. And this is something they can see from like a high level. And you probably see it too. You just have to really commit and get on board, and they want you to see that. But yeah, this person calms you. They don't make you, if anything, they make you feel happy. But if there was this anger in you that kind of felt like it was just deep within your core that maybe you had towards other people, towards other relationships. This could even be like bitterness. It's not there with this person. So this person really makes you feel secure, confident, strong, calm. They do a lot for you. And if you didn't realize that before and you see that now, it would be a nice message, because it might help you help them help you, right? Like you might actually give them like the green light to start helping you a little bit, and taking their help and accepting their help, which is what they really want from you. Yeah, that's the message. If you ask me, it's a very positive message. It's very direct. It's very clear to me. And I would love to hear if this tracks for you and your person, if this is on point at all. I would love to hear it, because I really see a very, very refreshingly like pure dynamic between you two, and something that I almost feel like this person is so used to dating or being with women who just don't appreciate them, or who don't see them, or who use them, and you don't do those things. Like there's just something very pure about your guys' connection. And as a result, I think they really want to care for you. They really want to like cherish you, which is very sweet, but you're probably like, what the, huh? But yes, it's true. They really do want that. And you have to let them do that. So they want you to let them do that. Okay. That's your reading. Definitely the most positive reading thus far. And definitely the pile I would have wanted to have picked, or the situation I guess I would want to find myself in. However, you are hesitant because you have been through something. You're not here because you've got some sort of past trauma, whether it's big or not so big or significant, but something is leading you to be so cautious. And, that's, I wouldn't say it's unfortunate. It's just, it is what it is, but it's there and it's real. And this would be a message to now let someone in. So, okay, I will stop talking, but would love to hear from you, and just want to thank you again. So thank you. Goodbye. Tarot, thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. Before I get started, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. I would really appreciate it. So I just wanted to put that out there, but really want to thank you. And okay, let's get into it. We are doing a reading for what they want from you. It's been very interesting. This is pile 4, so I should be pretty good at this by now. This is Angelite, which is like this blue orb, and I always feel like this card is so boring, but at the same time there's something like mystical about it. But it doesn't even matter. It's like, this is sorry, that was just a stupid thing to say. It doesn't matter, because you were drawn to this card and this is your pile. So we are going to get right into it. I want to see your person, and then I'm just going to ask directly what they want from you, which is a different approach I've taken. But yeah, I want to see your person in 3 cards, and we are asking Spirit to just kind of show us your person. So we've got the Spirit of Swords, the Moon, and the 8 of Wands. Okay. Okay. There's something, I wouldn't say there's anything dark about them. There's just something very capable. Like, and I do see this sort of panther like lurking. The Spirit of Swords is this is definitely a thinker. This is someone who wants to act, someone who wants to do things. But this is there's a genuine curiosity here. There's a genuine interest, right? There's a kind of like a thirst for knowledge that I see out of this person. But there is a mysterious angle to this person as well. I would say they're not an extrovert. At least I don't think they are. And if they come off that way, then they definitely have this like very watchful, hermity kind of part of them. But they have this energy. There's something very like lit up about them. And the Eight of Wands, to me, it's this card of like, it's travel, it's news. There's a bit of excitement here. It makes me think things aren't stagnant. And I don't think this person is stagnant. Even if they look like they're quiet or still, they're not. There's something like always happening with this person. I think they're probably very smart. I think whatever they're working or doing, I wouldn't say like underappreciated, but they're not the forefront, right? They're not the CEO, they're not the head of the company, but they're like the one in the back room that makes like everything happen or everything click. There's just a sense of like downplayed success or underplayed accomplishments with them. But yet I do think they are just very capable. And if they really want something to happen, they know how to go after it and how to get it. But they are, there's a mystery here. I was going to say they're a good communicator. I think they're very good at expressing themselves and communicating. And to that point, this is someone who, this is someone I feel like who has ghosted probably half of their other partners or relationships or whatever. Like this is someone who, if it's not working for them, they are going to peace out. They're cutting out. They don't need to give an explanation. They're very self-serving. There is that part of this that I see. There's a selfishness to this person. Not like they would take the last piece of food, but like they would serve them first, in a sense that like their own needs are going to almost always come first. And that's kind of true for all of us, but more so true with this person. I can't get a good read on them. So the more I stare at them and try to talk about them, the less I like them. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I do like them. They're a lot smarter than people give them credit for. They're very capable in this way, and they can do a lot in this like silent, powerful way. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to ask right out the gates. I'm going to ask Spirit, what do they want from you? What does this mystery of a human want from you? These cards, when they come up again. Okay. Innocence of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Spirit of Cups. Honestly, I think they want you to they either want you to not leave, they want you to stay, or it's like there's this piece of you it's like there's this connection they want from you. But I feel like you actually want to leave this person or cut them out of your life, and they really don't want you to. They want more of you. They want to keep you around. And if you're in a serious relationship, they want you to make it work. They want you to find a way to not leave, to stay and make it work. And I think this is going to take a big outpouring of emotion, probably more from them than they realize, but still it's going to take a little bit from you as well. But there's just something here to make me think like they want you to stick this out. And I do see a lot of this in a little of all these cards. I see this. The Innocence of Pentacles to me is like, it's someone who not only does the right thing, but they're just so determined, and they're so smart, and they're a sticker, and they see things through, and they're following the right course. Right. And when I feel like this person wants you to stick. They want you to stay. I think they'll be very hurt if you leave or if you cut them out in some way. I do think a big part of that will be ego, but I also think that they will be emotionally hurt. But something tells me emotionally they have more to lose than you do. This is interesting. This is an interesting dynamic here. I want to see you in 3 cards because there's something about this that I'm having a hard time fully understanding. So let me see you in 3 cards kind of pertaining to this dynamic. So interesting. We've got the Heart of Swords, which is the King of Swords, which is, kind of trumps this card in that you want truth. This person is like curious and watchful and interested, whereas this person is like, wants the truth, wants everything, wants all the knowledge, all the answers. very much, and they're looking at each other. This is fascinating. Three of Swords. I'm seeing that there's some hardship, heartbreak here, and Nine of Pentacles. Okay. I think this person leaves you feeling pretty isolated. I think they have left you feeling like you're off to your own devices. You have to kind of fend for yourself in this relationship. I don't really think they're there for you in the way you want a person in a relationship to be there for you. I don't think you're getting, I would say, like your needs met, but really from like an emotional standpoint, they're just not cutting it. And I do think they're blocked off. I do think they are ever so slightly cunning, but there is a very like toned down, like predator type vibe to them. A predator in that a predator watches and observes and waits for the right time to pounce. I don't think they are like toxic or anything like that necessarily. But I do think that this relationship is just, I do think it feels, I won't say toxic, but it does feel like you're not getting what you want here. And they want you to stay. I don't know if they're going to change or come around or if you should stay or not. I'm not getting a message that you absolutely shouldn't or that you should. So I don't have a feel on that one way or the other. But I will say that you see this person a lot more clearly than I think they realize. You really see them, and they aren't this deep mystery of a human that they like to credit themselves as being. I think they're a lot more surface and readable and transparent than they realize. And this is probably frustrating for you, but I think they give themselves a lot of credit for being just, dark and mysterious and deep and not trivial, whereas they probably are a lot of the opposites of those things. But I think they've hurt you. And I think that when you came into this, and it's funny that we have these two kind of hearts expressing loss of sorts. When you came into this relationship, you probably knew who they were, and you maybe thought they'd change or they'd come around, or you thought they have to soften, they have to do this. But I just don't think they really did. I just don't think they really impressed you all that much, but they did hurt you. And when the Nine of Pentacles, this is a card of like, to me, it's that independent wealth card. And I see this and I think like you've accomplished a lot on your own in this relationship. They haven't really brought you down. I do think they've hurt your heart a little bit, but they haven't brought you down. You're balanced, you're grounded, you're doing fine, but you have had to kind of fend for yourself. They haven't really been here for you. And there is something selfish about them. And yet I do think they want you to stay. They want you to stick around. They want another chance. They want you to invest in them emotionally. They just, if it's a dynamic where you'd be leaving, they don't want you to leave. Or if it's a dynamic where they can feel you're pulling away, they just don't want you to do that. They want more of you. And I think because you make them feel kind of like human, there's a part of them that's just like, there's a coldness to them. That's it. They're very cold, and they are not as calculating as they think they are. And that's where I say they're a lot more transparent than they realize, but they are cold. And I think you outsmart them at the end of the day, or you see them in a way that's almost like, I see you, and I'm not impressed. But they want you. I don't know. I can't say they want you to give them another chance, because I don't know that they're offering up change. That's the interesting thing. I don't see them offering to change anything. They may want to take you on a trip. They may want to show you something like exciting, like dangling a carrot of like, this is what we could be. But I just don't see them saying like, hey, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to do this. I'm not getting that vibe. But if they did, they would probably say they would open up more and talk more and like be more emotional, which is what you really want from them. You just want more emotion from them. And I don't think you're getting it. It doesn't mean they don't really in their own way very much love and care about you. But there's something kind of cold and cut off. Whereas I think you are a very like earthy person, and the Empress card, not on the table, but she's like an earth goddess, and she's just heaven on earth to be around. Everyone would want to be in a relationship with her. She's just perfect. And I just feel like you have a lot of that kind of earth goddess energy to you. And they want this. They want this so badly in their life. They don't want to lose you. Okay, let me think here. I just shuffled these cards, but I'm going to I like these cards here. So I'm going to ask Spirit, how do they make you feel? Like, this is like a personality card. What's the personality they make you feel? And I'm going to ask the personality you make them feel. So moon, darkness. So, which is interesting that the moon card is here. I do think they make you feel kind of in the dark. They make you feel literally shut out. Like you can't see them. You've got questions. There should be more light shown on a scene, and you're not getting it from them. I do think they leave you feeling like you're in the dark. And that's a really direct message that I could talk about for an hour, and yet I'd be using the same words over and over, and it'd be the same message. You just feel like you're in the dark with this person. And there's a coldness here. There's a feeling like you're just kind of, you just feel stripped, like not stripped, like just cold. You just feel cold. It's like you're cold. They're cold. They make you feel cold. There isn't a lot of warmth or passion here. And it hurts. Yeah. And you did really care for them. And this is how you make them feel. And I have a feeling you're going to make them feel like just very complete and warm and fuzzy, which is interesting and sad, actually. But here's how you make them feel. So rock, endurance. So they are, they are hardened. They are a cold, hard thing, but you do make them feel, I think, stable. You kind of give them purpose, let's say. I think you kind of validate their behavior in like, maybe you build them up a little bit, or you give them encouragement when you really should be like scolding them for being so cold and isolating. But, I don't know, you always find the positive in it. And when I think of the rock is a very like stable, like solid, grounded thing. And you do make them feel this way. I think they feel probably at home when they're with you. They'd probably love to start a home with you. If you guys live together, they're probably very, very, very happy to have you in their space, and they really don't want to lose that. I think they would feel not grounded if you left. They would be a little confused. I think you give them a lot of life. And in this rock here, we see this tree growing, and this is where I feel like you are giving them this you're putting the emotion into their life, like that purpose, that life force, that probably they might not get it without you. They will be fine. They will figure it out. This is not your responsibility, or there's no guilt trip here. Like, I didn't want to turn this over and make you feel like you're their lifeline. Because if you are in some ways, then that's way too much to put on any one person. And then you really need to evaluate that and do what works for you. But I will say that this person, I will go back to the fact that I think they would ghost someone or cut out very quickly if they didn't feel like their needs were being met. So although I feel for this person because they've probably been through something to make them this way, they might not be they might not invest all the time in you if the situation was reversed. So keep that in mind if you really do feel like you need to leave this dynamic and feel guilty. But yeah, you give them a lot. You give them a lot of life, and you give them a lot of purpose. You make them feel like safe, secure, grounded. But I do think they're taking a lot from you and just not giving you much. And I'm going to get some chakra cards to kind of see if this is validated. So I want to see, from like a chakra standpoint, what are they making you feel that's like, what chakras are they draining from you? Like, what are they putting out of whack in you? So these are going to be like two messages of kind of like hard, this is what you find difficult when you deal with them. And we'll see if this tracks. So this is the heart chakra. This is green and movement. So I would say like, they just make you feel stuck. They make you feel like you can't open up, like you can't really express yourself, like you can't love them. They're just hard to love, I would say. And maybe in other relationships, you felt like there was this kind of mutual outpouring of love and emotion, and like your heart was opening up and expanding. I just don't feel like you're getting that from them. It's like your little heart valves are constricting. They're just not, your heart chakra, quite frankly, is not in alignment right now. And if you were to, have Reiki, they might be like, ooh, your heart's, I wouldn't say it's hurting, but it's just not living to its full capacity right now. And, this could be a lot of things. It could be because your mind is being tormented. It could be because you're just not like able to express your emotions. But I think it definitely has something to do with, like, emotionally speaking, you're just not able to express yourself, whether it's with the words, with the thoughts, with the like physical connection. Yeah. Okay. So, and then we're going to get one other chakra of yours that is kind of out of a line. And we're going to say pain, or we're going to read the card and say pain. I do think, I'm so sorry, because it's not a very fun, it's not a warm and fuzzy reading. But I would say you are feeling a bit of pain in this dynamic. And I think what this person wants from you, it's almost unfair. It's like they want you to stay so that you can make them feel good, but I just don't see that they're doing that for you. And it's not to say they never did or they never can. I'm not saying you have to leave this person or that you can't make things work, or that, again, I'm not saying they're toxic or anything like that. But right now, the way things stand, and this would very much be your root chakra, like you don't feel like you have a home or a place with them. Like you just feel very probably lost, like that energy of, that, you know, that part of you that's closest to the earth, that you just don't feel grounded. And it is quite painful that, that nerve bundle we have right at our root chakra is, you're just feeling everything. And you probably are feeling pain on, maybe physically you're feeling more pain than you ever have. Maybe your back hurts, maybe your pelvis hurts. Like you're just out of alignment with this person. Okay. Again, not to say you can't change these things, but, this is the reading. And what they want from you is, we've already made that really clear. They want you to stay. They want you to stick it out. They want you to continue to nourish them and love them and make them feel whole. And I would say if you were to stay in this dynamic, it would probably need like counseling or something, because this person obviously isn't expressing themselves or giving enough back. And it has hurt you. And, yeah, and you just feel cold. You feel a cold draft off of them, and that's not pleasant. But you definitely have you do have power here. So you aren't powerless. If you wanted to leave, you really have the power and the resources to do that. And you have the will and you can stick to it. You're someone who can stick to things. If you want to do something, you will absolutely do it. Even if it hurts you, even if there's hardship, you'll do it. So, and I have a feeling you probably have a pretty strong network of friends or family, like you would be fine. I just think you're probably going to feel guilty about what this person might go through, but I'm not so concerned about that right now, because you're the one here and we're reading for you, and we want you to do you and take care of you and love you. So this is your not very fun reading about what they want from you. And I'll be honest, with the exception of pile 3, they were all kind of like this. They were all kind of like, whew, that's a lot. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up because you've heard enough, I'm sure. I will ask you one more time to subscribe or comment. Let me know your thoughts, but please do subscribe, especially if you liked this. If you think I connected with you, you probably didn't like any of this, but if you felt a connection, please do. Okay, and come again. I'd love to read for you again. It will be better. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again. Goodbye.